Today is June 19th. Welcome on into Daily Cards Live here on ClaibsOnline.com. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob Ramsey, and we're brought to you each and every day by Royal Banks, Missouri, and Munganess St. Louis Act. I think that this is the closest that we have ever gone to the last out of the game seconds ago. The Cardinals defeat the Nationals here on this Monday afternoon by a final score of 8-6, and it was a really fun game that started off really ugly.
Totals and highlights in 1 minute, and that's about what it was. Flaherty was terrible, and found a way to stay competitive. After he blew up. Nootbaar changed the look of the lineup, although he didn't do anything offensively. He did get a big assist on a throw from right field, threw out a runner at third. Turned out to be pretty darn huge. You didn't know it at the time because the Cardinals were down by 100. But so having him back, I think it can only be considered a plus. And then the bullpen was very good, including Hicks, who closed it out. Could it be the Cardinals have found their closer? Well, we'll see. Time will tell. But he wants the ball. He's attacking. He's got more command than we've seen in the past. So if he can not walk people, he's got the stuff to be a closer.
Yeah, third game in a row that he has closed it out now for the Cardinals, and they were talking about it in the eighth and ninth inning. Chip Carey, Brad Thompson, Alexa Dat were all discussing about just how he went out there. He asked for the ball again on Sunday, went out there and threw today, said, hey, everything's fine, give me the ball again. So he's showing that he can go out there and do it day after day, and the Cardinals really have, over the years, haven't figured out what to do with Jordan Hicks. You remember the experiment last year to have him as a starter and see if that would work and if that would kind of alleviate some of the arm issues he had by having him go every fifth day instead of having him go every day. So 3 games in, we'll see how it goes, but Ryan Helsley on the injured list makes for a chance to use this as an experiment.
Yeah, I think you're right to use that word experiment. And I think we'd all go, so far, so great. Looks absolutely terrific. Basically a 2-pitch guy. And but with that heater and going just for 15, 20 pitches a day, he can give you 4 or 5 days a week, theoretically. And he's loose-limbed. He doesn't throw locked up like guys like Helsley and Mott and some of those other guys where that forearm and wrist are real tight. He's nice and loose-limbed, and you'd like to think that would allow him to be available more frequently. Time will tell. This is all speculation right now.
We, since we're doing this post game, we obviously don't have bootleg and lineups to give you, but let's talk about the lineup. Yeah. Sponsored as always by Bootleg and Tavern. Actually had Bootleg and Tavern cater the golf outing that we did on Saturday before the alumni game on Sunday, and I don't think I've ever had their chicken before until Saturday. And I can tell you next time I go there, that's what I'll be getting. But they had the pulled pork out there, the coleslaw. They had they fed us well out there before we golfed on Saturday. For the fine folks at Bootleg and Tavern. The lineup.
So bootlegging makes a good bird.
They do. Yes, they do. Okay. Hey, Rammer, so the lineup, you mentioned it about putting Lars Nootbaar in there and batting him third as he returns from the injured list. Luke and Baker sent back down to Memphis in the alternate or the move to make that, the counter move to make that happen. We saw this once over the weekend, Nolan Gorman getting moved down into the kind of the second half of that lineup. I don't think I realized just how far he had fallen off. Back on June 6th, he was hitting 274 during that series with the Rangers. Today, 0 for 4 again. He's now down to 231 on the year, and this is a guy that is playing day after day after day. He has not gotten a hit now since June 12th in San Francisco. 0 for 4, 0 for 3, 0 for 4, 0 for 4, 0 for 4, 0 for 4. Oof. And all of the struggles that Wilson Contreras was going through, Nolan Gorman kind of slid under the radar.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Contreras. This is the part I don't get with lineup construction. Contreras stays in there in the 5 spot, yet Gorman goes down. They both should be 7 and 8. And so I don't get it. Probably maybe Contreras doesn't handle things. I shouldn't speculate. I don't know the reason why, and it's not a punishment. It's, hey, let's take the heat off of you. There's no pressure. You go down a few spots in the order, get relaxed, get your stroke back, and when you get hot, you'll move right back up. I think I think sometimes the media, I think it might be media driven that these kinds of things are punishments. They shouldn't be, and in most cases, I don't think they are. Let's take pressure off the hitters. It's such a pressure thing to do to hit a baseball and drive in runs and be an important part of an offense. It is really it's pressure laden. Let's help take the pressure off when you're not going well. Move you down. You get hot, you'll move back up. It should be more simple than it tends to be.
Yeah, and I mentioned when I mentioned Gorman kind of flying under the radar because of Wilson Contreras' struggles. That's
Yeah.
something that we've talked about earlier this year with Nolan Gorman's hot streak to start the year was kind of overlooked because of how good Jordan Walker started or all the hype
Yeah.
around Jordan Walker. And Jordan Walker, a guy that should probably be hitting there, and it should be hitting fifth now in this lineup. Maybe even move him up four, depending on
Yeah.
what you're going to do at Nootbaar here over the next few games and weeks. But Jordan Walker, on the flip side, since he was called up back on June 2nd, he came in with an average of 274 in that game, now up to 302. And another 12-game hit streak for Jordan Walker. And this time doing it with maybe a little more authority than he did that first time where it was just single, single, single. We're starting to see more of that power kind of come around since he was brought back up from Memphis.
Well, I'd want to check the stats before I co-signed. I think you're probably right. It seems that way because he hit a couple of bombs the last few days.
A double and 2 home runs again in that series against the Mets.
Yeah. I think the key for him is exit velocity. And if he's hitting the ball hard, I don't care if it's on the ground, on the line, or in the air. I really don't. Hit the ball hard, draw walks, and don't get excessive strikeouts. And if you can do those three things, you're going to be a good major league hitter when you're that big and strong.
So you get 2 victories in New York against the Mets. You open up this series with a win against the Nationals, not a very good National team, and you have 2 more games in front of them. Man, it's really tough to kind of sit here and say, okay, the team's going to get hot or this is turning around, especially with the schedule, the way it's going to be with that travel to London and back. That can just screw up everything, any kind of momentum that's about to happen. And I guess that's something that we can revisit about a week from now.
Yeah, and I forgot the context of Chip and Brad on TV talking about winning 2 out of 3. The only thing is, to get into postseason, you probably got to win 2 out of 3 the entire rest of the season. It is a tall order. So I think the analysis needs to come day to day. The wins and losses will take care of themselves if you play the game the right way. We mentioned the outfield assist. Nolan Gorman throughout the game, and particularly late in the game, had a couple remarkable defensive plays. 2.5 months ago, we thought, okay, Gorman will be your left-handed DH. Now, I can't imagine anybody else playing second base every day other than Gorman. So as these things start to solidify, then I think all the other things will start to take care of themselves. Cardinals play clean baseball and start piling up wins.
We'll see how it goes tomorrow. We'll come your way with a pregame for the show on Tuesday, and then we'll figure things out on Wednesday. Another 3:00 start time for that one, but we'll let you know when we are going to go live. Until then, each and every day, we are brought to you by the folks out at Munganast St. Louis Acura and Rammer, also Royal Banks.
Royal Banks of Missouri, over 60 years in the business here in our community, and the community of Royal Banks spreads St. Louis, East Side, St. Charles County, and Northeast Missouri, all Royal Banks branches that make you feel right at home. Royal Banks of Missouri.
He's Bob Ramsey. I'm Joe Roderick. We are both getting ready to go to baseball games. One for the younger kids, and then one for those that are Rammers age. And we'll let you know how the young at heart. So good luck to you, Rammer.
At our age, don't even bring up the word heart.
Good luck to you, Rammer. We will talk to you again tomorrow here on Daily Cards Live, right here on ClaimsOnline.com.
At St. Louis Acura, we have over 100 new Acura models and over 160 pre-owned models in stock or on the way in May. Get 4.9% financing for up to 60 months on 2023 Acura MDXs, TLXs, Integras, and RDX models. Or get a certified rate as low as 3.49% on certified TLX and MDX models. And you can earn up to $1,500 in loyalty incentives. St. Louis Acura, better than ever for you.